Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This video I'm going to be showing you guys how I paint some of my knockoff figure weapons that I use for my Walking Dead figures. Now this here is how I painted this rifle here, and I've got one, here we go, of the originals here to show you what it looks like in contrast. See that? Pretty nice, eh? And I think that looks really nice. Let me get a figure here to hold that. Where are you? There we go. This is a figure I like to put that in the hands of. There we go. And what I did was I painted some of it brown, and then the rest silver, and left some, like this part up here, black. I think it fits in fairly well with like a regular Walking Dead weapon. Yeah, and it just adds a little bit of detail. It shows that it makes it stand out better than if, not really just stand out, more like fit in with the other figures' weapons, whereas this being plain black would sort of stand out as obviously not meant to be with them. Whereas here, I think he could definitely pull this one off. What do you guys think? I've got many more videos to come for these guys, but make sure to stick around for those. And then Jason6105, I believe, asked me if G.I. Joe has any pistols that fit in scale with the Walking Dead action figures. And yeah, I actually have found a few pistols that sort of fit-ish, but I don't own too many because when I was a kid I lost most of them. And here's just a few that I still have though. Like here, this one kind of fits into scale. It's kind of small, but you can imagine it being like a small, one of those petite guns that they make for hiding. And compared to another Walking Dead gun, let me pull that out of my hat somewhere here. Oh boy! I think I have one in my bag. He reaches into his bag of tricks. Here we go. Here's another Walking Dead pistol. Oi. And next to it, yeah, it doesn't look too far off. I mean, clearly it's smaller, but other than that, I think it fits in fairly well, and that's G.I. Joe, of course. Then there's this one, which is ridiculously big. It kind of fits into his hand. This is meant for a 3 3/4 inch figure. Could you imagine? This thing is a beast. I just can't imagine it being meant for such a tiny figure. See that? I find that ridiculous. Okay, let's pop that into a big figure's hand maybe it would match in with Herschel here, because his hand is magnificently large. There we go. Yeah, still looks ridiculous, but if you paint it gold and put it in his hand like this, he'd look like the most pimpest dude you'll ever see. Really awesome. Yeah, but as for that, there's not pretty much that I own. There's not many of those G.I. Joe pistols that fit into their hands too well. And then there's this Star Wars pistol that, yeah, it kind of passes into the Walking Dead scale. Not sure what sort of gun you could say that is, but yeah, it is Star Wars, so it's kind of crazy to actually expect it to look like a real gun, but yeah, I think it could work. Okay, moving him aside, now let's show you guys how to paint some of these awesomeness. First, you're going to need a paintbrush. Doesn't have to really be all that detailed, a paintbrush, just a rather small paintbrush. Now, if you noticed in the background here, I have been painting some of my figures stuff here. First off, I've got the bullhorn here that I've been painting, and might as well finish that in front of you guys, I suppose. Just got to paint the handle. Let me pull out the red. I'm using Citadel paint here, but I don't really have to use much. And the reason I like this so much is because I just thought about it. The Governor figure that was like an exclusive to a Comic-Con or something, he came with a bullhorn, and it was in this similar scale, and I'm pretty sure it looked almost exactly like this. Only that figure goes for a lot now, and I got this for $1 with a bunch of other stuff. Yeah. So now I've got myself a red bullhorn. And also, I want you guys to tell me, should I put, like, blood details on my weapons? Like, Walking Dead figures don't tend to have that. That would be something to make them a little more distinct, but should I, like, add blood to the blades and stuff that I paint? And, like, for example, this machine gun here, should I add blood to it? This one's not actually done painting yet, but what should I do with that? And then also, which figure's weapon should I paint gold? I'm not sure. I want to take one of the figures that I have from The Walking Dead and paint one of their weapons gold just because I've got gold paint and I love to paint stuff gold. And I think gold guns are just like really flashy and cool. And that's something that I'd like to have with my figures. Okay, now moving on from there, let's pick a weapon to paint. I'll show you guys how to paint it. I suppose I will show you guys how I painted mine the way it was. Here's this gun, and what did I do with the original? Oh yes, Rick has it. So here's how to turn this into this. It's actually fairly simple, and you've probably already figured out how to do it, but I'm going to show you anyway because we're here. And I'm sorry I didn't get this video out too soon, guys, because it's been a really busy day. And I won't go into too much detail or anything, but I will put it this way. I've been from hell and back again and still made it back here to make you guys a video. Oh yeah. Okay, so first off, taking some silver paint, which is, I'm using Dazzling Metallics. Shimmering silver, and I got this at Michael's for $1. If you don't have a Michael's, then it's probably at any sort of craft shop that you have. So what I'm just going to do is make a really thin base here, and it doesn't really want to have to cover completely the gun, because the Walking Dead figures don't tend to cover it. I'm leaving this upper part here blank because I'm going to paint that part brown, because this seems like a separate piece, and I want to have a little difference between the parts on the weapon, just like the Walking Dead figures don't really tend to have that, and that's something that I think would add a little detail. Reaches into his bag of tricks. So what are you guys doing with your holidays? For Christmas, I've been watching a ton of Christmas movies. It's ridiculous. I've been watching, what's it called? Home Alone, Christmas Story, stuff like that. It's fairly fun, I suppose. It definitely gets you into the season mood. That reminds me, what part of what kept me so busy was yesterday I had to put up tons of lights. I hung up like every light in the house I hung on the outside, and it looked amazing. I'll show you guys what it looks like in another video. I think it looks pretty nice outside. And then at my window I've got some lights hung up. It's pretty sweet. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm avoiding a few parts so that I can paint them a different color. And of course this can all change up depending on what you guys want for your figure. Or for your weapon, should I say. And really, the reason I decided to start using alternative weapons and stuff is because there were so many different Walking Dead figures, but they all kept coming with the same weapons, whereas you would build up an arsenal of the same weaponry. You really need some variation, and I think the weapons I have here create quite a bit of variation. But I haven't really bothered painting them before, but I decided to after I did that video because I realized they're rather bland looking. Now here's where you gotta be careful. I'm painting a barrel. It's extremely tight work here. I'm going to paint this part up here a little silver too. Now of course usually guns probably wouldn't get so much silver to them unless they're regularly silver based, but I don't really know. I don't think I really own any guns that look like this anyways, so couldn't tell you. I own a BB gun that's lever action, so you'll shoot your eye out, you know, kid. Tell me if you know what that means, or if I'm just one of those old 17-year-olds who know too much. Okay, let's see. Now this one, no, not this one. Where was the one I was using for brown? Anyway, let me grab a rag here so I can dash off some of this paint. Whenever he gets in a fix, he reaches into his bag of tricks. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to be using some brown Citadel paint. Just a little bit. And I'm going to paint the barrel under part here, which is like the grip, and then the handle, as well as the butt of the gun. Yeah, I know specific names. I'm awesome. I just had to make a guess on half of them. Okie doke. Layer that out. It's so weird. For you guys, you have no idea what this looks like, but I'm painting this and I'm looking at what it looks like on the camera, and it looks so much bigger than how I'm painting it. It's weird. I suppose that is just a little bit of behind the scenes commentary there. I'm feeling more and more like just some behind the scenes participator. I don't know. I'll go on for hours just babbling and saying stuff that's nonsensical, but if you like that sort of stuff, I'm the guy for you, aren't I? Okay. I hear a Christmas song downstairs. Oh no, they're watching more Christmas stuff, eh? Okay. Now the handle. Maybe, yeah, I'll make this part remain black. A little variation there. Okay, now on this side. Okay, and I'm going to be reviewing some stuff, some movies that I'm also going to recommend and suggest for your holidays. It's going to be horror holiday movies. It's going to be amazing. I've actually seen quite a few throughout the years, and you guys probably have seen most of them, but a lot of them are obscure but really good. You'll be shocked once you hear about them, I think. But if you have heard about them after I tell you about them, make sure to comment about it. I love comments. I am old Kris Kringle. I'm the king of jingling. So how are you guys handling without The Walking Dead for, I don't know, until February? Me personally, I'm not doing too badly because my entire life is based around Walking Dead, and then when it's off, I just start watching other Walking Dead stuff. It's ridiculous. There's so much Walking Dead content. You could watch it for months, years, days, over and over again, endless loops. It's actually pretty fun. When you like something that's got that much content, it's really cool. Like, if you're a fan of a movie that only has one movie to it, you'd have a pretty sad existence, wouldn't you? Like, imagine if you're just the fan of, let's say, Twilight, okay? Those shows are, like, gone, right? They don't film those anymore. Your whole fan base is gone now. What, are you going to go back and watch whatever few movies they had there? That would be depressing. For Walking Dead, however, there's always content coming out, and then there's so much content that's already out. It's amazing. I love being a Walking Dead fan. For more reasons than one. Okay, now I pretty much have a duplicate of what I had before. So now I have two twin guns here that I'm going to set up in a display. It's going to be amazing. Let's see, I'm missing a little paint back here. Yeah. And I would make these look a little more wooden or something, but I don't know. Just brown kind of adds the idea. Okay. Let's take a quick side-by-side with the previous gun here. Yep. This one's a little more silver, of course. Yeah, tell me which one you guys like the paint of better. Because there are a few differences here, if you can tell. And then let's take a look at the opposite side. Definite differences. Okay, and then let's take a look at what I just painted over here. The bullhorn. I hope none of the paint is still wet. Ah, missed a part. Missed a spot. More paint. Okie doke. Now, pretty much wrapping this video up here, I think. Okay, so there's the bullhorn. Tell me if you guys ever get that, because I think that's a really cool one. And then also I'm going to later finish up painting this one, which is the tomahawk in the previous episode. I'm thinking about, as you can see, this is painted brown on the back. What I'm going to do is paint it brown here and then here. Then I'm going to add a dark wash to make it really dark, and then it's going to look like a dark brownish thing. And then it'll look cool, and then plop it into one of the figure's hands, and he'll have a field day of holding it. Let me put that in there for now. That's me. Okay. And then I've got this right here that I'm finishing up painting, and what I did here was I created a sort of army blue, I guess, or navy blue. I don't know what they call that. Technical terms I'm not good at. You probably know that by now. And then I'm using this to hold my paint, that stupid boat that I got, because it doesn't really fit in with my figures that I use and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm going to paint this into a total thing, and then I'm going to use it in a display, which I do a lot of. One of these days I'm going to show my displays or dioramas, or how I make the dioramas and stuff. You guys will love it. I don't usually show my stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, I don't think it's all that important, I guess. And then another little tip, when you're painting cheap stuff like this, the plastic's always going to be shiny and stuff. What you gotta do is use sandpaper, like this here, and you go up and down, and it sort of makes a rough veneer, I guess, rough surface, so that the paint will hold on to it much easier. It won't hold on just as good as like on a regular thing, but it will hold on better than on the cheap plastic that it is. Okay, let's just set that aside and let that dry. And I think I'll wrap this video up here. I've showed you how to paint one gun, and I showed you finish up of that, and then a little bit more of this. Perfect. Maybe in the future I will paint this, but stick around for other videos, reviews, looks at stuff, and of course the horrible sacrificial burning of these two cheap figures that I got, which will be awesome. I'm going to think of an awesome way to destroy them and create a little narrative for you. So let me put this bullhorn aside, and I'm going to put that in some sort of figure's hand later. I'm going to create probably a prison diorama. Yeah. Okay. See you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure to check out my other videos. And if you are one of my subscribers, thank you for watching. And make sure to watch my other videos. So I'll see you guys. Peace.